it's a total waste of time. They moved in almost every drug dealer, small-time drug dealer in there. It's a wet shelter. It's run totally wrong.
Yep. It's not like anyone ever described Penticton's industrial area as pretty to begin with, but its decline over the past few years has been shocking nonetheless. There are days when you drive by and it almost looks like downtown East Side in Vancouver, with groups of lost souls huddled at the sides of the streets using drugs, mingling, whatever they're doing, their possessions in carts or street about, like you see behind me now. This place fascinates me because its transition, like I said, has been relatively swift. And broadly speaking, Penticton's like many other communities in Canada that's struggling with the effects of homelessness, addictions, and mental illness. But more narrowly here in Penticton, there was a decision a few years back by City Council to kind of designate this part of the city as Shelter Central. And so about 2 blocks away from me, by the way, I'm standing at the corner of Okanagan Avenue and Amherst Street. To the north of me is the Bottle Depot. Pardon me, to the west of me is the Bottle Depot. To the east is McDonald's. To the north is Value Village. And to the south is more retail. And this is all, generally speaking, the light industrial area. So I wanted to come down here and interview the place, so to speak, to find out more about what it's like here, what's happening here, what needs to change here. It's the decision, as I said a few years ago, City Council was to concentrate things here, to keep problems, we'll call them, away from touristy areas like downtown, and so to speak. So we've had the concentration here. I'm about 2 blocks from the so-called Super Shelter, which is a former Super 8 motel. BC Housing bought it and turned it over to a nonprofit operator to run the site. It's now 70 beds of emergency shelter, 365 days a year, plus about 20 assisted living or supportive living units for people who are trying to transition out. So what I decided to do was try to interview the place. I'm coming downtown. I've got a sign. I've got it right here. I'm going to hold this up, and I'm going to spend 2 hours. I will see if anyone wants to talk. Got a guy coming now. What did you say your name was?
Ian.
Ian. How old are you, Ian?
I'm 48.
48. How long have you been on the streets for?
Oh, the last 3 years.
About 3 years. Where did you sleep last night?
Up the road. I night watchman for family movers.
Oh, okay. So you work?
Yeah.
Okay. This area, I've lived in Penticton for about 15 years, and it's undergone a lot of a change, whereas a lot of street people and action and stuff is now up in this part of the town to keep it away from the touristy areas, it seems like. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it pretty much follows the homeless shelter.
The Super Shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think needs to be done? Like, is it okay to just shovel people into this area and leave them be, or what are we lacking?
No, the money they poured into that project should be actually just buy some buildings and rent it out to the homeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they all collect a welfare check. It's a total waste of time. They moved in almost every drug dealer, small-time drug dealer in there. It's a wet shelter. It's run totally wrong.
Yeah.
They could have got their dispensary license themselves.
Yeah.
And run the place with just the money off the drugs that people buy.
Yeah.
Instead of shoveling it back into the criminal element of the community, which
you
is
have safe supply on site, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just endorses more street crime, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
I work for a living, but
a
lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They'd rather go steal from the stores or the locals, which is totally wrong, but they can't get a job or whatever the reason.
Yeah.
A lot of it's anger towards the community and bylaw.
Yeah.
I mean, they cleaned me out 2 weeks ago. I had bought my own scooter, my own generator. I had all my own tools. I was gone for 15 minutes and they cleaned me out.
Your camp?
Yeah.
Where was it?
I was parked at the corner down here.
Oh, yeah.
I was parked.
Yeah.
They said they found open rigs around my chair with that. I told you to tell them, weren't mine. There's 15 people down there.
Yeah. So all your stuff's gone again?
Yep. And then they cleaned me out again last week, which they got my new computer and a bunch of other stuff that I bought.
Yeah.
A power bank. You know, me, I go up and buy stuff every month with my check.
Yep.
That way I'm well supplied and have some heat.
Yep.
My choice to do that.
Yeah.
But to have it stolen like that,
Yeah.
it angers me. And I can understand the anger that the others feel and why they react the way they do.
Yeah. And then, speaking of bylaw officers, do you find them helpful? Like, do they guide you to resources, or do they just kind of wake you up and move you along and that's it?
Wake us up, move us along. Guide us to resources. There isn't much for resources. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, other than the homeless shelter,
Yeah.
there isn't much. And people choose to live there. I choose not to. I was there for over a year.
Yeah.
And I lost more there than I ever lost in my life. Like, anything sentimental to me was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thrown to the garbage like it was trash.
Yeah.
All my family photos, anything sentimental. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
I chose to move out of there and live on the streets when they kicked me out for 30 days for picking up the back table and putting it down. When everybody else said they would punch the guy for what he said.
Yeah.
And all I did was pick up the table and put it down.
Yeah.
I wanted to punch him so bad, but
You restrained yourself, and
I
you got
restrained myself and I got kicked out for 30
paid
days.
for it anyway. Yeah.
Which just helped me stay out of there. Like, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to be there in the first place. I just couldn't move on.
Yeah.
And then once they kicked me out, I realized I'm fine down here. I forgot, like I lived in the bush my whole life.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of easy. So.
Whereabouts did you grow up in the bush?
Cranbrook.
Cranbrook area. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
East.
So is it more wild on the streets here or in the Kootenays?
Well, I'd rather be in the bush with a grizzly bear, to tell you the truth. I've suffered a broken shoulder blade, stabbed once, a couple other broken bones.
Yep.
All while living on the street here.
Yep.
It's a rough place.
Yeah. How did you land on the street in the first place? Do you have family or anything like that, or?
I came here with coaxed by my aunt to come down.
Yep.
And she just told me, well, you'll have to live in your truck. I punctured the gas tank and stayed up on top of Carmi.
Huh.
The locals were not too keen on me living up there. After the shooting started, I just moved on. I rode down the mountain on my bike with my dog and came to town.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty much it. Once I got here, I just stayed.
Yeah. Do you have family anywhere?
No, I'm the last one.
You're on your own, eh?
Yep. No, I like it here. There's a lot of good locals. Like, people are really friendly. Like, I get along great with the locals. It's just the odd few that make it tough on us.
Yeah. How do they make it tough on you?
Well, they try to incite us into violence with mind games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bylaw has a lot to do with it, though.
Yeah.
Bylaw is our biggest worry, our biggest sore.
Yeah.
They treat us like we're dogs. I've had arguments for an hour long right here on this corner, actually, with a couple of them about how much they thought Penticton was a shithole, and I was like, you're totally wrong. It's changed a lot since 25 years ago, but it's not a shithole. It's far from it. Like, and then, that's why we don't live here. I worked my whole life. I quit stealing. I was in my early teens, late teens, and I smartened up. I got a job, started my own company, the whole nine.
Yeah.
After I lost family, then I started going downhill, but I never turned back to crime. Never even crossed my mind. I don't like the way they behave, but that's their choice. They're angry.
Yeah.
They think they're entitled to taking what they want because of what's gone on with Bylaw and other locals.
Yeah.
And I can't blame them, really.
Yeah.
The anger is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a choice they're making, and it's not the right one.
This little industrial area, do you roam further than this area, or is this everything you need here?
I got 3-block radius, pretty much everything I need.
Yeah.
I got food, I got clothing, I got my job.
Yeah.
I got propane for the tank, so I pretty much stick to the 3-block radius.
Yeah. Is there a lot of you kind of that do that?
Probably about 30 of us that live in this area.
Yeah. And you all sleep rough?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them worse than me.
Yeah.
I'm quite comfy. I got my lawn chair, my propane heater.
Yeah.
roof over my head. Some of them don't even have that.
What's your one message to people who see you out here and who look down on you or think less of you, or might be thinking about saying something to you? What's your message to that person?
Well, I got higher security clearance than most of your security guards. I used to install ATMs, people.
Okay.
So for you to follow me around your stores, sure makes me a little sore. But my appearance, I understand. I understand. But no, other than that, it's not that bad in Penticton. Like, the community's accepted me quite well.
Yeah. What's your name?
Hayden.
Hayden. Okay. You just gave this gentleman here a bag of McDonald's and a drink. What motivated you to do that?
I just like helping people out.
Okay.
Getting to the time of year where it's cold, and I just thought I'd help people out.
Okay.
Me and Mom are just going around giving people food.
Okay. How old are you?
16.
16 years old, and you're already giving back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How did your mom instill this in you, or what?
I've just been doing it since I was like 6.
Okay. Around Penticton?
Everywhere, like Edmonton.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Edmonton. So
Okay.
I did that there, here,
Yeah.
and Kelowna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're like an angel at McDonald's out here.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on.
Welcome.
Pleasure
Nice
to meet you, sir.
I'll take your
I guess, first of all, what's your name, sir?
Mike.
Mike. Approximately how old are you?
43.
43. How long have you been on the streets? What's your name?
Bob.
Bob, I've seen you around Penticton for a long time. Like, do you all sleep outside or in shelters? Shelters now? No. I hope we got all some of that on tape at least. That old guy, his name is Bob, 68 years old. The funny thing about Bob is, back when I lived downtown, this must have been, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe. He was going through our yards at night, taking bottle bins and recycling bins and all that. And I remember I chased him one night, and this is the middle of the night, and I chased him down the street and demanded he return our bottles. And when I saw who it was this little old man like you see now, and I felt so bad for chasing him and yelling at him and everything. I mean, he's been out here doing this for as long as I can remember in Penticton. I can't believe he's still alive, frankly, but he is. So that's Bob. We'll carry on now. My show is about kind of this part of town, this industrial area. And over the last few years, there's been a concentration of homelessness and all that sort of stuff here with the super shelter. It's been concentrated here. And I'm just wondering what your relationship is to this industrial area. Like, do you just live in these 3 blocks and this is your world now? Or what do we need down here? And what do you need from society?
Because look at what the mayor did this time. Fucking ran us all out of town and told us that we can't even stay in town because when we're homeless, we're a fucking gang.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
It's okay. It's okay. So the situation now with all the different groups and all their own money, is it like their own little kingdoms and that's the problem? Yeah, you're nodding your head.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
And people that got credited and given money that didn't deserve it still got it. Like me, for instance, I'm not even allowed to open up a bank account, which means all my money, every time I got arrested on the street, all 23 times that I was arrested,
Yep.
I had to leave my money.
Yep.
Like, I worked for my inheritance. I worked for my time to live here on this planet.
Yes.
And I worked for the reason to learn independence so that I could be independent without having these mother assholes, whatever they are, rob me blind. And right now I'd have dollars to go buy my own meal, but instead a kid that is 16 is using his money to buy it for me, which in development, I would say that's pretty prosperous and that's very well taken because that kid is pretty wise.
I guess what's your message for people who see you out here pulling your card and they're mad at you because you're in their way or whatever, and or they think you're up to no good? What's your message to those people?
I don't really have a message for them. I don't talk to those people.
Yeah.
I let their understandings of what they are do talking for themselves.
Well, if it was possible for a street corner to speak, I think that's what it would say. That was my best effort, at least, to interview it. That's all for this episode of the Deep Fryer Podcast. Don't forget, we've changed this season. It's now 100% listener supported. You can go to the website for all the information, deepfryerpodcast.ca. Find the support the show tab. There's a few options there for you. There's PayPal to make a one-time donation, whatever you can spare. You can also do that by e-transfer to deepfryerpodcast@gmail.ca. The third option is a $5 a month listener support package on patreon.com. By doing that, you get access to 2 exclusive features. One is a poll that helps us decide future show episode guests and topics. Perhaps we'll interview another street corner if that's what people want. The other thing is, it's a Saturday newsletter called Penticton to a Crisp, in which I give my opinion on what were the 5 stories that actually mattered in the news in the week that was. Again, deepfryerpodcast.ca for all that information. Thanks for tuning in.